public speaker, author, entrepreneur, former corporate executive, mentor, and former investment banker, or recovering investment banker, shall we say. After 22 years as investment banker with other firms and his own, Peter Christman founded the Christman Group. The Christman Group provides middle market business owners with a comprehensive and integrated suite of services that simplify the exit planning process while maximizing the value of the client's business. Peter is also the co-founder of the Exit Planning Institute, which educates and certifies business advisors on how to implement business owner exit planning into their practice. Peter is an entertaining and sought-after public speaker who has given hundreds of presentations and seminars on the benefits of exit planning and the middle market mergers and acquisition process. He has also written articles on the importance of the exit planning process. He is the co-author of the book, The $10 Trillion Opportunity, and author of the recent international bestseller, The Master Plan. That's why we're here today, to learn about the Master Plan, which has been a bestseller in 8 countries. For MBBI, Peter was one of our founding members and key developer of our successful sponsorship program while participating in numerous trainings for our MBBI members. So it is my pleasure to welcome Pete Christman, the exit planning guru, to share his thoughts and his new book, The Master Plan. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good. Before I go into my presentation, because I was very active in this group during the 80s and during the 90s when I was an investment banker. Something happened to me in the year 2000 that changed my life and changed my business life. And I want to share that with you because those of you that are investment bankers would appreciate what I went through. I was an investment banker for 22 years. After 17 years of corporate experience with Ford Motor Company and Xerox. Year 2000 came along, and we were very successful in selling to companies for the highest gross value by using the auction process that we had really done a good job of. But 2000 came along, we sold companies that had values between 4 to 5 million, and the largest deal we did was 150 million. Privately held companies, of course. 2000 came along, and what happened in 2000? Y2K? Yeah, what else happened? With the tech bubble. Right, Sandy? And I sat back, and I said, I want another process. I want another process that's going to give me... So I sat back, looked at what we were doing, and I found several things going on. What was happening is I would go out and call on a prospect. We could talk to each other for 2-3 hours. I know this has never happened to you. And during that 2 to 3 hours, go through the plant and everything else like that. And then I discover that this person is not a real seller now. Get a program that I can offer that client or that prospect client right away. That was objective number 1. Number 2, get monthly retainers between deal flow. Even though we were charging our selling clients monthly retainers, I wanted more coming in. And I know you guys that are investment bankers don't feel that way, but I did. So objective 2 was to get more monthly retainers. Objective 3, build a farm system. Build a farm system of deals so that in year 2, 3, 4, 5 down the road, you've got other deals ready to take to market. Okay? 4, even though we were doing well, we could always improve our hit rate and improve our number of closings. And that's true with anybody. Right now, the number of hit hit rate on the average hit rate is only 40 to 50%. That's way too low. And the fifth one, that I think you'll chuckle at if you're in the business, I wanted to eliminate beauty contests. Was tired of beauty contests. Even though we had did a good job of winning them, I just didn't want to go through that hassle. And I wanted to create a relationship with the prospect and make them a client much sooner and eliminate that whole beauty contest. So I created a process in 2000 that accomplished all 5 of those objectives. And it was called exit planning. Further analysis, I determined, my clients pay too much in taxes because there's no tax planning going on. I wasn't sure the money we were getting, the gross money we were getting, was going where it should be going. Because there's no estate planning, there was no financial planning going on. So, it dawns on me, all the planning is taking place after the liquidity event instead of before the liquidity event, when you can get the greatest value and do the best for your clients. So therefore, we developed our process, we beta tested it on 3 companies, 2 here in Chicago, 1 in Indianapolis. We included it in our model. We wrote a book on it called The $10 Trillion Opportunity, which I know some of you have read. In 2006, we started a firm called the Exit Planning Institute. That firm was dedicated to training and certifying advisors in exit planning. And I'm proud to say that in my tenure with the firm, in 6 years, we trained and certified at the Glacier Center advisors from 8 countries in exit planning. And then in 2012, the 4th quarter, a buyer came along and wanted to buy us. And as you all know, one buyer is no buyer. So we got another prospect and we had a little negotiation going on. And in 2012, I sold that firm to a group out of Cleveland headed up by Chris Snyder. And they're doing an exceptional job with the Exit Planning Institute now in still training and certifying advisors. I'm starting a new firm called the Master Planning Institute that is dedicated to educating business owners on master planning. Now, what's master planning? Some of you have probably not read the book yet, so I'm going to tell you what master planning is. Master planning is a process for successful business owners. A process for successful business owners. There's 2 types of management styles out there. One is lifestyle management style, and the other is value creation. Ralph, you've been in the business for about 80 years. Where do you think the preponderance of business owners fall? Lifestyle or value creation? On the left, right? Yeah, exactly. Barry, what's value creation management style?
Making your decisions based on strategic.
Make your decisions
Making
on
your
what?
decisions based on creating value within your company.
On creating value in your company, exactly. Master planning is the process of taking a business owner from lifestyle to value creation type of management. Okay, everybody with me on that? That's the first step. Now, when I go out and talk, I figure I've talked to about 2,000 business owners. And during the session, I have them take out a piece of paper, white piece of paper, nothing else on it, and number it 1 to 20. And I ask them 20 questions. That's, David, that's why I have them do 1 to 20. And I want them to put a Y if it's yes for them, their company, and an N if it's no for their company. These questions, I think, revolve around value creation. And I want to see how many of them, to give them a score as to what kind of value creation company they've got. So I'm going to read these questions to you real quickly, but see if you don't agree with me that value creation companies should have these idiosyncrasies. Have you had a formal written business valuation completed within the last year? Do you have a formal contingency plan in place in case you become incapacitated? Do you have a strong management team in place? Question 4, is your largest customer below 10% of your total company revenue? Does your company have an active strategic business plan in place? Are your products and services not threatened by obsolescence or global competition? Is your equipment up to date and in good working order? Is your industry growing? 9, there are not a lot of competitors in your market. 10, do you have a significant market share or protected niche? 11, are your profit margins at or above industry norms? 12, does the company have a record of sales and profit growth during the last 3 years? 13, your business is not seasonal or cyclical. Is your company's pre-tax profit over $1 million? Are your financial statements audited? 16, do you have an updated personal estate tax and financial plan? 17, do you have a current written succession, exit, or transition plan? 18, do you know exactly how much you will need to exit your business? 19, do you know exactly what you would do with your life if you ever exited your business? We talked about that. 20, do you have a specific personal life plan in writing and ready to launch? Those are the 20 questions.
How many score above 0?
I'm sorry?
How many score above 0?
Oh, you've been looking at the goddamn slides, Ralph. 35% answered less than 10 whys. I consider a why a correct answer. I'm sure you do too. Another 35% answered 10 correctly why. But 70% scored at 10 or below, and guess what? Only 29% answered more than 10 correctly, and very few of those were close to 14, which was the highest score, I think. I know it's not a scientific survey, but I tell you what, it does tell us something about what's going on, because I'm going to tell you more. Statistics tell us that the average business owner's got 90% of their net worth tied up in their business. 3 out of 4 are planning on changing business ownership in the next 10 years. 75% of those business owners out there don't have any kind of plan, but they still want to change sell their company or exit their company in the next 10 years. Only 25% have done anything about financial planning. 70 Price Waterhouse tells us 75% of them are unhappy after they sell because of a lack of planning. And Tom West tells us that 80% of the companies whose sales volume is at 50 million or below, when they put themselves up for sale, never sell because of poor planning or no planning. Okay, why is this happening? These business owners don't realize that their cost of capital is between 20 to 30%. Public companies' cost of capital between about 6 to 9%. They have to make returns greater than this to create value in their business and eliminate and cover the risk of ownership. 80 to 90% of the business owners out there are not doing this. They're losing value and creating value gaps. We all know what value gaps are. This is what the market says you're worth, and this is what you think you're worth. That's why they're creating value gaps every year. So what's the answer to this? Ta-da! The master plan. master plan, as I mentioned earlier, was written expressly for business owners. To show you that it was written for business owners, it's only about 88 pages. Okay? Thank you. Also, the font is bigger than your normal font in a book. So I thought it would be great toilet material for business owners. This has got all the principles they need to focus on to become successful business owners. I'll explain to you what the master plan is all about. As Greg told you, it's been the bestseller. I'm really proud to say this, bestseller in 8 countries through Amazon, and my reviews on the book have really hit the target. Because a lot of business advisors are using this as a prospecting tool to get business for themselves. Okay, okay, this is not cooking. Where's our... That's why it's not flipping. Thank you. The reason the master plan book is so simple but direct on as far as target is that you focus on just 3 objectives. The first, if you can visualize a 3-legged stool, and if you can't, take a look at the screen. But visualize a 3-legged stool, and what your objective is to develop the 3 legs of the stool. The first leg of the stool is do everything you can to maximize the value of the business. The second leg of the stool is to get planned personally from an estate, tax, and financial point of view. And the third leg of the stool, and listen, as a former investment banker, you'll agree with me, I know you'll agree with me, develop some kind of life plan, because I'll tell you what, if they don't have a life plan, it ain't going to happen. Because their identity is tied up in the business. They don't know how to handle exiting the business, but they should exit the business. You know, when you reach 95, it's about time to be doing something. But they should. They don't know what to do, and they're not getting any help. So these are the 3 legs that have to be fully. If you don't have all 3 legs of the stool developed, you've got a wobbly, non-functional stool. I think this is a great analogy. It's a great analogy when I talk to business owners about it. Again, our whole objective here is to get planned before the liquidity event instead of after the liquidity event. So why don't business owners have a master plan? Well, why should they have? Because that's what it says up there. Why should they have a master plan? They're human. That separates them from a publicly held company. There's no guarantee any of us are going to be around next week, next month, next year, or what have you. They're human. That's one reason. The other reason is they have responsibilities. I don't give a damn if you got just 5 employees or 500 employees. They're responsible for those employees' future, their family's future, and so forth. And I talked to some, Joe, I know it was you or what have you, but they're not stepping up to the plate and fulfilling these responsibilities they have to their employees. And they have responsibility to customers, their family, themselves, their legacy. So why don't they? Confidentiality is one of the biggest reasons. We all know this as investment bankers. They don't want to meet with you where they can be seen with you. When I was a member of a country club, I used to tell friends of mine that were business owners, I knew they wanted to talk to me. But you think they'd, we were living in Crystal Lake at the time, you think they'd want to meet at the Crystal Lake Country Club? No, they'd want to meet in Indiana or way on the North Shore because they didn't want to be seen with me. And I said, you know, just because you're seen with me doesn't mean you're selling. It could mean you're buying companies too, but because of confidentiality, they never thought of it that way. another reason. One of the idiosyncrasies of baby boomers is they procrastinate. And baby boomers are procrastinating right now. And the third reason is some of you are advisors. I know you're an advisor and some others in the room. They're not getting any help from their advisors. How many of advisors get paid extra for creating value in their client's company? Not too many that I know of. And also, the advisors have not been trained in exit planning and so forth. So these are the three main reasons why these business owners aren't getting ready for that exit. So I'll just cover real quickly in the master plan. Leg 1, we start with a business valuation and operations assessment. We review value factors, industry analysis, review business operations, sales and marketing, legal and regulatory, and also economic factors. Remember, in leg 1 of the stool, what we want to do is maximize the value of the business. After we've gone through this analysis, we come up with an action plan to do that. Leg 2 of the stool, get planned personally from an estate, tax, and financial point of view. Again, we have assessment on each leg of the stool. We establish goals and objectives. We want to protect our assets and our income. We come up with a tax strategy, exit planning strategy, and financial planning strategy. And leg 3 of the stool, the one that's really neglected. Because if these business owners think they're going to play golf every day, it ain't going to happen. Even Magonia can't do that, or doesn't want to do it. You start out with an assessment. You talk about their life situation. What do they feel about home, work, their life? It's really interesting to ask these people, but you know what? Nobody's talking to them nowadays. Nobody sits down with them and says, how do you feel? What do you think about, what are you going to do 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Nobody has those conversations with each other anymore. None of us do. It's a problem. Except my wife and I, right, Joyce? Talk about their hobbies. What do you want to do? Attitudes about life situations. What about philanthropy? What do you want to do about your legacy? And then develop an action leg of the stool. It takes 2 to 5 years to fully develop a good master plan. And the role of advisors is a lot more long-term than short-term. Finally, how do we start? We start with a quarterback as a master plan coordinator. You can be trained to be a quarterback, and that's how I started, because a lot of investment bankers would make great quarterbacks in this process. Leg 1, we have the value enhancement advisors. Leg 2, we have the financial, estate, and tax advisors. We recommend others if we don't feel that their current advisors are competent enough. On leg 2 of the stool, and then on leg 3, there's life planning advisors. And I think most of the quarterbacks that are around would be able to do a good job in developing leg 3 of the stool. If you find that the family's dysfunctional, the owner's dysfunctional and so forth, then you've got to bring in some psychiatrists, psychologists and so forth, which I've done to straighten out the family. And as I said, other advisors will come in and out of the process as needed. Okay, what are the benefits to the business owner? This is the last slide. I always like to tell people that because I always get a good smile on their face when I tell them that. Thanks, David. Focuses on building value, not just lifestyle. It gives better cash flow. It prepares the owner and the business for unplanned emergency situations. That's their contingency plan that I talked about earlier. Preserves lifestyles. It puts the owner back in control of their business and their life. It provides a basis for company continuity. Promotes family stability, ensures management stability, and there are many more. I went through this quickly.
Are you launching this here just in Chicagoland, or are you launching it throughout
No,
the country?
we're launching it, we're going to be launching it internationally, but just like the EDGE Planning Institute is international,
Yeah.
so will the Master Planning Institute.
So you're gonna have seminars then throughout?
Yeah, we're going to have
business
seminars, business owners, and really what the reason you investment bankers ought to be excited about is, remember the old Geneva?
Yeah.
They used to give great, I started their office in Chicago in '85. They had a fatal flaw in their business model, but I'll tell you one thing, up until that fatal flaw, it was a going Jesse. We were doing 125 valuations a month and selling a ton of companies. But I'll tell you what, their 2-day seminar was the best I've ever seen. It really educated the business owner. Back when I left Geneva to start up my boutique firm in Barrington with 5-6 guys, I used to send our prospects to the Geneva seminar. I said, now don't sign up for the valuation, but I want you to get educated. So that's, they didn't sign up either. Any other questions at all? Yes?
What do you do when it's a business owner that you would like as a prospect that just is flat out not interested in moving beyond lifestyle?
You know, when I sit down and read, try to clarify his BS, he's BSing to himself, he's BSing to you, and the nice thing about being old like me, I can call a lot of their bluffs. And you're getting up there where you can start. But this is an old man's business. Take a look at Ralph, for Christ's sake. Take a look at Bergonia. Take a look at the people, Barry Goodman. He's just retired from being a great CPA to being a exit planner and a value enhancement guy. It's a great business. Especially dealing with business owners, because I tell you what, they need somebody to talk to. Who are they going to talk to? Right? You've got to keep on asking questions and then shut up and listen. Ask them, oh really? Well, why do you feel that way? You're almost 100 now. Don't you think that you've had 3 heart attacks? Yeah, they're going to bluff you. They want you to call their bluff. They really do. And hey, there's a way. I got a book you can read. It just came out. Read this thing. I'll talk to you in a couple. It's easy to read. You can read it while you're going to John. I know you go to John a lot. So, but that's what you got to do. Seriously, call their bluff. Because they've got those responsibilities I talked about before. They're that, and they're not fulfilling it. There's an old saying that 50% of the business owners are leading the business through the 5 Ds. What are the 5 Ds? Death, disability, divorce, disagreement, and there's a 5th one that I never can remember.
Distress.
But that's irresponsible. As my wife says, it's unacceptable.
Where did the 80%,
Sorry?
the 80% figure that business owners don't sell their business when they go to sell it?
Yeah.
Where's that statistic come from?
That statistic, Tom West, you're familiar with his, huh?
Yeah, what is it, business value resources?
Yeah, it's something.
Business brokerage
Business brokerage press, right? Yeah.
Brokerage press.
But look up, Google Tom West, and he's got all kinds of statistics that will blow your mind on this stuff.
What do you tell folks about the path? You look at the number of businesses that you could groom for sale. You look at the stats on baby boomers going into retirement, and some of them look at the alternative, which is, well, I can stick this out to 95. And then you look at, most of these companies are going to be under the $2 million EBITDA mark that is sort of the entry level for private equity and strategic buyers, really. So what are you seeing or painting as a picture for the exit strategy as you consider these factors that weigh in these sort of smaller.
You did a great job. You asked me 4 questions in 1 question, right?
He's an attorney.
You're welcome.
Okay, you gotta remember, my retention was really short, but let me see if I can tackle some of it. You said some of them, they just own a job and their EBITDA is below $1 million, $2 million.
Below $2 million.
What you want to, but with this, you want to get them, no matter where they're at, you want to convince them to start looking in the mirror and develop a master plan. Okay, that's for starters. And then, once you get them to start the master plan, because each leg of the stool has got an assessment and so forth, now you start talking with them about the business, their future, and so forth. And one of the things Barry does is try to get businesses to increase their value so they will be attracted to private equity groups as an add-on or what have you, okay? That's part of the project. You go through the financial plan and go through the leg 1 of the stool, and if the 2 don't meet, okay, what are your options? Exit at this number, which is below market, or build the company up to market. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think the first part of your answer didn't answer. And this one?
Well, it's really, you know, when you put it all together, how are you spelling the exit plan for them, given that a lot of these businesses are going to be under that $2 million level? You look at the economy and, you know, what it said about, you know, the demand on the M&A side, where we've been very active now, abysmal for the last, 5 years before. So how do you wrap that all up? And you've answered part of that question by growth business to where it is attractive to private equity candidates.
The other thing you do, statistics, on the surface, but you look at the statistics. Business owners are not prepared for their exit. 75% of them want to exit in 10 years. So ask them what they've done about it. Not a goddamn thing. Okay, it's pathetic. And the baby boomers, when they decide they're going to exit and they think they're going to sell and they think it's going to be a piece of cake, they're going to have a rude awakening. No one's talking about what effect this could have on our economy. 50% of them are leaving through the 5 Ds right now. That's what the stats are telling us. And what do you think is happening with those employees? Because the other stats tell you that of those companies, when they died in their boots, in the company, those companies only last, what do you think they're lasting for? A year. What do you think those employees are doing? They're not taking care of their responsibility. Did I answer it now?
I think so.
Good. When you figure it out, finally, let me know. Listen, before I get off the stage, I am done sooner, so did you?
Lifestyle, when you had the 3 schools, do you have a separate person handle the lifestyle? I mean, I understand that the investment banker is more the quarterback, but do you have different people involved in different aspects?
There's a quarterback who coordinates the activity.
The whole thing.
Then you've got advisors who are involved in leg 1 of the stool. They're value enhancement people.
Okay.
Then you've got advisors leg 2 that are the financial, estate, and tax.
Right.
And then on leg 3, I think, like Greg, you'd be a quarterback if you were in this process, You could do leg 3 and, take them through that
Yeah,
assessment.
we'd like to say that we could probably help them through all 3 legs. What's unique, though, is if you have a book that's simple to read, that's a nice talking point for a lot of those clients that are undetermined as far as what do they want to do. Like Peter said, as an investment banker, we spend 2 to 3 hours with a lot of folks that just aren't ready to sell, or they're sitting and they're talking to us because their wife made them talk to us, because they had their second heart attack. But they're saying, hey, I don't want to sell until I have a 3rd or 4th heart attack. It's going to break. Just humor me with my wife. But we should, the fact of the matter is, as an investment banker, the majority of my clients through salaries will see the same thing as well, and all other investment banks in the room. The majority of our clients they usually come to market when they're ready to sell. They're like, hey, I already went through that downturn, I don't want to do it again, let's sell now. I've had that heart attack, I don't want to go through this again, let's sell now. and they haven't had that opportunity to do some of this advanced planning. When you have a client that has that opportunity to do this, I think it's an excellent short read for them to kind of start thinking about the things where they can truly enhance the value of their business, the quality of their life, and the quality of their personnel that, most likely, they feel is their extended.
In the beginning of the book, after the foreword, there's a poem. And this is the standard that we throw out in the book, that every business owner and every advisor should be shooting for as a standard while we're still around here. Let me just take a minute, and I'm going to read this poem to you. And I think it's fantastic, and I hope when I'm done you'll agree. It's entitled What Will Matter by Michael Josephson. Ready or not, someday it will all come to an end. There will be no more sunrises, no minutes, no hours or days. All the things you collected, whether treasure or forgotten, will pass to someone else. Your wealth, fame, and temporal power will shrivel to irrelevance. It will not matter what you owned or what you were owed. Your grudges, your resentments, your frustrations and jealousies will finally disappear. So too, your hopes, ambitions, plans, and to-do lists will expire. The wins and losses that once seemed so important will fade away. It won't matter where you came from or what side of the tracks you lived on. It won't matter whether you were beautiful or brilliant, or even your gender and skin color will be irrelevant. So what will matter? How will the value of your days be measured? What will matter is not what you bought, but what you built. Not what you got, but what you gave. What will matter is not your success, but your significance. What will matter is not what you learned, but what you taught others. What will matter is every act of integrity, compassion, courage, or sacrifice that enriched or empowered or encouraged others to emulate your example. What will matter is not your competence, but your character. What will matter is not how many people you knew, but how many people feel a lasting loss when you're gone. What will matter is not your memories, but the memories of those who loved you. What will matter is how long you will be remembered, by whom and for what. The ending paragraph. Living a life that matters does not happen by accident. It's not a matter of circumstance, but one of choice. Choose to live a life that matters. Give that poem to all the business owners out there and dare them to live a life that matters. And the 20% who say, screw you, I don't want to do it, ignore them. Work with the other 80%. My dad passed away 1.5 years ago. He lived this life. And I'm so proud to read this every time I speak in front of somebody. Thank you. You've been a great audience.